So how about that? It's 9:41 right now. Welcome back to Great Day, and welcome to the desk at this time each and every week. Roske on politics, and Brett, you brought a guest with you.
We got a lot of stuff to go over today, and we're gonna jump to the guest in just 1 second. A couple of things we got to take care of. National news this morning. Zach Cohen with National Journal. Thanks very much, because that little interchange I had with Hillary Clinton a couple weeks ago is now one of only 8 media questions she has answered while becoming a candidate.
Really?
There it is. Here are all 8 media questions that Hillary Clinton has answered during her campaign. Our little exchange is now number 8. So anyway, thanks to Zach Cohen for putting that out there.
Good for you.
As we know, the presidential race is heating up. We've got a bunch of new candidates official. Dr. Ben Carson, we've got Carly Fiorina, and over on the other side, you got Bernie Sanders. What's interesting about Bernie? Oh, there's Ben Carson. That was actually here in town. Some of the first billboards that we've seen.
We saw some.
I saw that.
Yeah,
coming
literally
back.
the day he announced, we were like, boom, billboards.
We were wondering how quick it got up. It was an electronic billboard. That's why.
No, that one's print.
Yeah, that's a print one, but the electronic one went up almost instantly.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Bernie Sanders, interesting about him, he's raised $3 million in 4 days, not through a super PAC, but from 75,000 donors, an average of $43 apiece. So Bernie Sanders, and this Sunday show, Roske on Politics, is all about Bernie Sanders. But our guest today, Jeff Kaufman, is the chair of the Iowa Republican Party, and this morning I was looking at Mike Allen's playbook, which is published by Politico, and I saw this gentleman's name. He wrote an article about the straw poll, and just because Iowa is a great place to live, we get breaking news right here, and Mr. Kaufman is going to tell us about the straw poll, some of the changes going on, and we're going to hear about it right here first.
Because a lot of people are talking about how it should go away.
Absolutely, and then we had that discussion earlier. Governor weighed in, a lot of our congressional delegation weighed in. State Central Committee, which is the board that governs the Republican Party in Iowa, decided unambiguously. I mean, it was resoundingly, we're going to continue to have this. We then made a decision. We're going to have it at Boone. So we made the decision after many years that it's going to be at Boone, at where the Farm Progress Show is today. Yeah. We moved it away from the Iowa State campus. And this morning we came up with a lot of pretty fundamental reforms to bring it back to its roots. And when it's all said and done, this is about voters engaging people that want to be the most powerful human being in the world, and it starts right here, and I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, it seems like some of the criticism before was almost like a pay-to-play event almost, and that's totally changing now.
Whoever had the most money seemed to get the best spots, the best times, things like that.
Exactly. Sometimes the bidding for lots would be as high as $35,000.
Wow. So and when you say lot, where they were setting up
where
their
they
tents?
were going to physically set up their tents and feed people and bring in their own electrical generating equipment. We are going to fundamentally change all of that. We're bringing it back to that simple rule of candidate engaging voters. Wow. One thing we're going to do is we are now going to be giving lots away to the candidates.
Really?
So you come to the straw poll, you receive a lot. Period. There's no.
You're not buying a lot, or
they're not. No, they are going to receive that lot.
So is it first come, first serve? So we're going to have a bunch of candidates. I was there first.
That would actually be kind of fun.
They'll be camping out a week ahead of time.
It's WrestleMania. See, the straw poll / WrestleMania. I love this. It's a whole new.
We're actually going to make it random. Although, if you would have pointed that out before the press release today, maybe I would have done
was Jackie when we needed it.
But we're going to. That part of the expense is over. We're going to have food vendors there. So we're going to stop the culinary wars. In the past, these candidates were putting tens of thousands of dollars into feeding. That's done.
The fancy tents and
absolutely, that is through. And then this may sound like a relatively small point, but setting up the electrical generating equipment that they had to have for their tents was a pretty major expense. At Boone, there is electrical outlets there for every single lot.
Wow.
And here maybe is the most important point for your viewers, especially those viewers that are Republican or just want an afternoon of political revelry, and that is we're going to hold the ticket price to $30. There'll be no increase, and it's actually lower than it was in 2007. Wow. So we are going to remove the financial barriers. We're going to remove the excuses. We're going to take this back to the roots. We're going to show the rest of the country, and it's important that we do, that Iowa not only is first in the nation, we deserve to be first in the nation.
Now, is Iowa losing money because of this, or why has this not happened before?
Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, we're in a really strong financial position, quite frankly. The energy and the motivation of the Republican Party, we're just breaking fundraising goals right and left, to be quite frank. And in the past, this was dependent pretty heavily for fundraising for that particular year. It's going to be a fundraiser for us, but as I've been saying since June, it is not going to be our major fundraiser. We're able to do this, and I have to raise money, obviously. I certainly don't want Hillary Clinton answering 8 questions a year as president. And so, and I think 8's pretty, actually that'd probably be quite a few if she actually ended up being president. But the bottom line is we actually want to give back. And this is certainly for Republicans in our straw poll. But more importantly, we have got to make sure that this state doesn't just talk about grassroots democracy. We got to live it, and we're gonna lead the way in the straw poll.
You and I, when we spoke at the Freedom Summit, you mentioned that you and Dr. Andy McGuire, the first job of both party chairs is to keep the caucus first, and this helps to go toward that. Yes.
Absolutely. I've got this is a partisan position I had. I just gave a little shot to Hillary Clinton on your show, but when it comes to our First of the Nation and running our caucuses, Andy McGuire, who is the Democratic chair, and myself, there's no space between us. It is 100% bipartisan in action and in words. And I'm going to guess that Andy should probably rather we not have a straw poll. That many Republicans in one place probably is a little intimidating.
Some are saying it's more important than ever this year because there are so many, and because there's so many, we don't have an opportunity to really know what a majority of these are all about.
Absolutely.
Like when you see names, but I don't know what they stand behind.
What kind of participation do you think you're going to have?
Here's what's going to cost the presidential campaigns now: a ticket to get here.
Yeah.
I don't see how they're going to make the case to 20,000 enthusiastic Republicans that they don't have time for Iowa on August 8th. I think we're going to have great participation, and that's going to be great for the state and great for Iowa Republicans.
So if you want to read this great article that Mr. Kaufman has written, just go to Politico.com. Again, if you subscribe to the playbook as I do, it is the top story today. In breaking news, thank you so much for coming on this morning. That's amazing.
My pleasure.
And I wanted to show one thing, also presidential politics, before we go here. This Sunday is all about Bernie Sanders. Here's a little interaction he had the first time he was in town during this cycle last summer. I just thought this was fun to show. Let's take a quick look, Bernie Sanders.
I was running for student council and I didn't make the election, and I want to know what I can do to help.
This is Laura, and she ran for student council president, and she didn't make it. Now, Laura, let me tell you something, all right? I ran for the United States Senate from Vermont. I got 2% of the vote. I ran for governor. I got 1%. I ran for Senate. I got 4%. I ran for governor. I got 6%. I didn't make it on 4 times. So what you have to do is be persistent. All right? Keep trying.
You'll see more with me and Bernie Sanders this weekend, but again, special thanks to Jeff Kaufman. He's the chair of the Iowa Republican Party and a very popular guy this morning. So thanks so much for taking the time this morning.
Thanks for having
Thanks
me.
for being here. Appreciate it. All right, Roske, well done as always. Tell me what time your show's on.
11:30 a.m. same channel, KCWI, and this week it's all about Bernie Sanders. Next week we're talking Ben Carson and some other Republicans. So yeah, you never know what you're going to get.
Just tune in and find out.
That's right.
All right, it's 10 minutes before 10 o'clock. We'll be right back. You're watching Great Day Live on KCWI.